Good morning. I'm sorry I'm not with you all today, but I wanted to share with you guys how you can create a um, one point perspective drawing using Sketchpad. Okay, so you should have your Sketchpad looking like this. This grid is gonna help to make it so that we can really match up lines and make them straight. If yours for some reason didn't automatically start this way, you can click on the plus button down here and you can open up that transparent um, grid for your drawing. I'm going to go ahead and get started by making my horizon line. Now, instead of just using a pencil tool, I'm going to use the line tool, which will allow me to create my line by clicking one spot and then dragging. And then as I match it here and it's in the spot I want, I double click to get it to stop drawing. Okay, so I have my horizon line, and now I'm gonna go back to my pencil or pen tool here, and I'm gonna slightly change the size so I can add a vanishing point in the middle. Um, and that's all I really needed my pencil tool for. At this point, I can switch back to my line tool so I can continue to make shapes that are just geometrically sound. Okay, so I'm going to start um, by just showing you guys how you can make a road or a river or whatever it is that you want. And I'm going to do that with my line tool again by starting by clicking on the vanishing point, coming down to make um, I'm connecting these points here. So my road is gonna be a dot, and then that dot connects to my vanishing point. And then I want my road to be wide. So I'm gonna make this triangle shape and to double click so that that disappears. However, if I want to select that shape again, I can click on the mouse in the top left, and by clicking on the shape, it gives me a couple of choices here. I can go back to my line and I can fill it with a color. I want this to be a road, so maybe I'll pick a shade of gray so it'll look like a road. And then I can even add, let's see, my outline here. Maybe I'll add some road details. Um, Actually, changed that too soon. I don't want a line quite yet. I want that to match. All right, now that I'm done there, I kind of can deselect it and I can draw a new line. Okay, so for my new line, I can start um, by just drawing. So let's see here. I have that finished. So now I want to click on my line so I could draw my road line in the middle. And I want my road line in the middle to be yellow. So let's see here. I'm going to click. Oh, I never finished. Did you see that? You have to click the finish icon first. That's why. So now I can go ahead and I can change the color for my outline. And then here, I'll just add my lines where I want here. And remember to double click as you go. And so far, as I go back in space towards my vanishing point, I want my lines to be getting shorter and closer together. I got them. Okay. Pretty good. A little crooked, but again, I can fix that by using my select tool and then just adjusting it slightly. I can use, there we go. That's a little better. Okay. And now that I've done that, click the box there. Okay, now instead of a line, I'm going to add a rectangle or a square, and I can add streets, I can add buildings to my streets just by adding a rectangle, and I can change the color of the rectangle by clicking on the rectangle again. You can make it whatever color you want. Um, I have I'm gonna make a pink building. Now, I'm gonna go back to my line tool and I'm gonna make my building look like it's receding back in space. And I can do that just like this. And the only thing I want to do different, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and trash that. I'm gonna show you a trick. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a line first. And I'm gonna make my line from my corner to my vanishing point. And this is gonna be my guideline. I'm gonna actually erase that later. I'm double clicking so I have a free mouse again. Um, so right now I just have a guideline. And now I'm gonna draw another line. I did not have to do that, but in case you lost it, I am drawing my line so it's butting right up against that building. It's gonna match the road because that's the vanishing point there. And I want the back edge of my building to come straight up in a vertical line. So right now, the back edge of my building, making it a closed shape, double clicking, is that gray side there. Now I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna collect a couple things. I can select that with the mouse icon and delete it. Oh, why did that happen? Sometimes it's glitchy. Okay, let's just redo it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, not sure why that happened. Okay, so now that I have those separate, it won't let me delete it. So I'm gonna just drag it off to the side. I can use that later. Okay, so now I'm gonna just change my building. And I can do that by selecting those tools. I'm gonna make this a slightly different shade of pink. I'm changing, um, whoops, I didn't select it. There we go. Light shade there. Now, for some reason, that won't let me do my trick here. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to go ahead and undo the whole thing. And now I'm going to get my line tool and I'm going to change my color before I start drawing. There we go. And let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. So in this case, I just changed my line before I start drawing and I'm good to go. Double click and then I can select that white one. Maybe it'll let me delete it now. It still won't, so I'm just going to drag it to the side. We'll resolve that later. So you can continue to add shapes, rectangles. You can change the colors of the rectangles, add those rectangles to your building. So you can add doors, you can add windows, you can add trees, you can add sidewalks. I'm going to just go ahead and add a little sidewalk here to show you what that would look like. And it's going to come up to the side on this side, and I'm going to actually draw this whole rectangle shape to fill it in. Double click, and then I'm going to do the same thing, but a different shade to show that it's a different side so that I can have the little curb appear as well. So I have that little line to be my curb. Double click, and then I can draw the individual pavers on my sidewalk. Double click, double click, and as you go back in space, draw them so that they are getting closer together. Okay, so I just showed you a couple basics. Now you could continue to make a street the way I just showed you. You don't have to make a street. You can make a floating island. You can make a spaceship. You can make anything you want. I'm just asking that you follow along and you're using the vanishing point at some point in your drawing. Um, I'm going to use my crop tool and I'm going to crop this so that it sits in a panel. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to finish, okay? So I could, yes, add more details. I'm not for the sake of time. So I have it cropped. I'm pressing OK. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in with my, so instead of using vector filling, I'm going to use pixel fill, and I can add color for my ground. And then I will do the same thing, add a color for my sky. Whoops, I did it too soon. Back up. Okay. I want my grass color again. Okay. Now, so I'll just fill sky and then and change. There we go. Okay. So I have my design. Now I can go export and I can share, either I can download it as a JPEG. I download it as a JPEG, I can save it to my Google Drive, and I can upload it. I can also export it and share. You want to switch to JPEG. And when you share it, you can copy a direct link and place it in Schoology that way. Or you can just download, it might be easier to download it and upload it to your Schoology that way. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting and I'm going to close out on this meeting. Please try your best, play around, and send something that you're able to finish. Okay, well, I hope you guys have fun with that. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you guys next week.